So the NFL's had a pretty rough year, our last couple years when it comes to this, code of conduct, off the field issues, stuff like that. Especially when it comes to sexual assault, sexual misconduct, everything like that. And this past week, the Bills actually released their rookie punter, who's involved in a alleged gang RAPE. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but him and apparently I think it was two other teammates back when he was at San Diego State are getting accused in a civil suit of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl, and the Bills actually ended up releasing him. And off the heels of this Deshaun Watson stuff, like they're definitely not, like, it's not worth it, especially for, like, I hate to put it in this point, but being a punter, the leeway's not really there. But let's see what's happening with this situation now.
The Buffalo Bills have released rookie punter Matt Araiza in a civil lawsuit filed on Thursday. Araiza, along with two of his former San Diego State teammates, were accused of gang raping a 17-year-old girl last year when Araiza was in college. According to CBS Sports senior NFL insider Jonathan Jones, the Bills organization learned of the allegations in late July. Just this past Monday, the Bills announced that Araiza had won the starting punting job.
So this is, a ongoing thing when it comes with the NFL, or a reoccurring thing, is when we find out about these situations, it comes out that they had already known for weeks to a month. They're saying back in July they had already known about it. And, teams try to be fair, regardless of what the crime is, and, do their own research and everything. But then once it becomes public, it's kind of like, it's not even worth it at this time. Like, the season's about to start. Again, like I said, it's a punter, it's a rookie. We don't know this guy from Adam. We just get him out of here. And they just named him the starter, which is crazy, but it is what it is, man.
5 days later, Araiza is no longer on the team. Here's what Bills GM Brandon Beane had to say on Saturday.
We tried to be thorough and thoughtful.
So this is the GM.
Not rush to judgment. And I would say it's not easy. You're trying to put facts around a legal situation, sometimes with limited information.
When the lawsuit was filed on Thursday, the NFL said it was aware of the incident but declined to comment. And because the alleged rape happened before Matt Araiza was drafted, he is not subject to the league's personal conduct policy. CBS Sports HQ continues after the break.
So that's interesting. I didn't even know that. So if you do something, if you're accused of something that you did before you were even in the league, they can't. Does that mean they can't suspend you? That is interesting. I didn't know that. Because he said since he wasn't in the league, he's not subject to the personal conduct of the NFL. That's kind of scary. Because now you put it in the team's hands, which, could be good or could be bad depending on how that team decides to rule. But that's very interesting. I never knew that. He's the head coach.
Just hard to go through, and it's not a situation that I or we take lightly whatsoever, and it's very serious. I understand the sensitivity of the situation, and it's clear we have work to do to continue to figure this thing out here, and we're going to do that. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Sean, when exactly were you made aware of these allegations against them?
Yeah, Jay, I'm not going to get into details right now. I hope you can appreciate that. I respect your question. I know we made the statement we did last night, and I'll leave it at that.
I certainly can appreciate that, but given the severity of this situation...
These reporters going to keep prying.
Rather generic statement says to you that that's an adequate response for this organization.
Yeah, again, Jay, I'm not going to get into details right now, so I respect that.
All right, well, what makes him a great kid, which you said earlier this week about him?
Again, I'm not going to get into who Matt is and his character and all that type of stuff. I don't think that's right now. I can tell you this, my heart and thoughts and prayers go out to the people involved, right? And that includes Matt, and includes both sides here, and the victim. And
I don't know if you could say that, buddy.
Our prayers go out to him.
Are you satisfied with the organizational response to this point?
We have work to do. We have work to do.
Why did he not play
It was my decision, and at the end of the day, I didn't feel like it was right. It wasn't right to do that.
So, I mean, he's pretty much going to keep giving these kind of answers. Like, it is still fresh. There's a lot he can't really say. I'm sure the team, like you said, made a statement. And, it's pretty disturbing. They're not trying to talk about this at all. And this, I mean, if it was like Josh Allen or something, this would probably be, like, blown up way more. But honestly, people will probably forget about this by, like, next week. Like, this isn't, a high-profile person. He didn't play a single snap, in the regular season or anything yet. So, yeah. Trigger warning for anybody that, is sensitive to this information. I probably should have said that in the beginning. But I did want to watch a video talking more about the actual lawsuit and not just, from the team saying, hey, we cut him and everything. So let's take a listen to the actual details of what happened.
Araiza is now in the NFL. Team 10 investigators Melissa Masiha and Adam Rakusin have been working on this story all day. Adam is joining us now live in the studio.
So this is before they cut him.
Yeah, and Kim, San Diego State is not part of this lawsuit, which is detailed and graphic. It alleges 3 San Diego State football players, one who now plays for the Buffalo Bills, gang raped a then 17-year-old girl during a Halloween party last year. We do want to warn you, the details are disturbing. This house in the college area
Halloween
of San Diego,
parties.
not far from San Diego State University, sits quiet on Thursday morning. But newly filed court documents detail a night last year far from that. And one a young woman says still scares her. According to a lawsuit she filed, Jane Doe, as she's going by to protect her identity, was raped for more than an hour in the early morning hours of October 17, 2021. Along with rape, the lawsuit alleges gender violence and premise liability. The lawsuit says
I don't know what any of that means.
Was a high school student at the time, went out that night to attend Halloween parties in the San Diego area. The lawsuit says she and her friends ended up at a party held where Matt Araiza lived. According to the lawsuit, the teen and her friends drank at other parties before going to the house, and she was observantly intoxicated when she got there. The lawsuit says that Jane Doe...
And I'm sure, like, people online are probably going to be like, well, that's why high school people shouldn't drink, and she was underage. Why was she at a party? It's like, bro, honestly, you can't control that. Like, kids are going to do what they're going to do, especially high school kids. They're going to be in college the next year. They live in the area. Like, that's true for a lot of places, and that's why, like, these situations unfortunately happen because, like, if it's a certain town or city, like, and the campus is right there, like, people party off campus. They have houses near there. Like, everybody kind of just, like, lives together. Like, it's not a whole, like, oh, you're in high school, you're in a whole different world kind of thing. So, like, unfortunately, this kind of stuff happens.
Doe was separated from her friends and approached by Araiza, who could see that she was heavily intoxicated. The lawsuit alleges he handed her a drink anyway. According to the lawsuit, Araiza led Doe over to the side of the yard of the house, where he told her to perform oral sex on him. The lawsuit says he then pulled her up from the ground and had sex with her. According to the lawsuit, Araiza then led the girl into a bedroom of the house where at least 3 men were already in the room, including Xavier Leonard and Nowlin Iwaliko, both SDSU players at the time. Leonard...
See, and that's just weird. Like, there's so much weird stuff going on with that. It's like, just like creep stuff. Like, number one, it's like, if, like, I get, like, people go out to party and drink to, like, have a good time, loosen up, all that kind of stuff, But, like, if someone is just, like, incoherent and you're targeting them, and like you said, giving her more to drink, doing sexual acts with her, and then bring her into a room with 3 other guys. It's just like, I don't know, or 2 other guys. It's just like, it's just weird, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Is still listed as a member of the team. The lawsuit claims she was thrown on the bed and raped. The lawsuit says she went in and out of consciousness, but does remember some moments. In an interview earlier this month with our media partner KPBS, Jane Doe described what she remembered.
They threw me down onto the bed, face down, and they took turns assaulting me from behind.
Bro, like, this is pretty graphic, bro. Like, oh man, that's crazy. And that's the other thing. Like, there's levels to, like, I'm not trying to like justify certain things, but it's like when it comes to assault, there's like you verbally saying stuff you're not supposed to, you touching someone inappropriately, like you sleeping with someone and they don't really want to, all that kind of stuff. But like they're physically like hurting her and forcing themselves on her. Like that's just unacceptable.
Her attorney provided ABC 10 News these pictures and videos detailing the injuries she described. The lawsuit just.
Alright, we don't really have to look at any more of these, but I mean, honestly, obviously it's like innocent until proven guilty, but it's like the NFL, the Bills, they've been looking at this for over a month. There's physical, things on her. Unfortunately, when you report these things kind of late, it's like, DNA and all that's kind of hard to get, but yeah, man, the NFL's not playing with this kind of stuff, and like, I mean, good riddance. He doesn't deserve to be making that money right now. Like, he got to go work on himself, and they need to figure out who those other 2 players are too. Obviously, he gets, the punter gets the more fame because he's in the NFL, but it is terrible. Yeah, man, it's just bad. Definitely, if you like these videos, give this video a like, leave a comment down below about how you feel about the NFL and how they're handling these type of situations and why it's so frequent. And definitely subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build a channel up, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.